Hey everybody, welcome to the Recoup. I'm Cooper Daniels and I'm a guy that knows a little about a lot. And today, it's my weekly algo rant. Let's get into it. First off, how are you doing? Everything feels pretty good today. I like it. I like the vibes coming from today. We got a lot of good news. I'm going to talk about FTX supporting USDC on the Algorand blockchain. I'm going to talk about Algofi and their future plans. I'm going to talk about it all, folks. But before we do that, let's dive into some stats. Surprise, surprise, everybody. But Algo is sitting at number 29 at 31.5 cents on CoinMarketCap. They're climbing. Algorand is climbing on DeFi Llama, number 16 at $236 million TVL. All right. So that's climbing up. It's only going to get more and more in the next couple of weeks. We had, I think, good news. I like this news that they are extending governance sign up. So folks, I made a governance video the other day and it said you must sign up by this Friday. Well, guess what, folks? If you weren't ready to do that, you have until next Friday, the 21st. Some stuff going on where they're trying to work out how some different farms can be included. Like on Humble, there's a Algo USD farm that is paying a wonderful yield, but it's a farm that uses smart contracts, so it makes it a little more complicated. Well, the Algorand Foundation is trying to figure out how to incorporate those, so a little more time is welcome. So we all have a little more time. We got time, folks. Before I dive into some other things, I want to say something that I think is important. You guys all saw that new intro, right? How incredible is that new intro? I got that from the generosity and the support of Blockrunner, who is the artist behind Flemish Giants, Flemish Clones, Fractal Tamers, and I know he's doing a lot of other exciting stuff as well. I mean, new logo, new avatar, new intro. There's other things that you're going to see when I finally do some interviews again. You're going to see some cool stuff there. I've got some cool interviews. I swear I do. They're a little further out. Maybe I'm going to just start being more selective on my interviews because I'm enjoying doing these solo videos. So anyways, shout out to Blockrunner. Follow that man on Twitter. Buy a Flemish Giant, clone, Fractal Tamer, whatever. He is an incredible artist and he has been incredible for my show, and his support is so damn, I'm just so grateful for it. But it doesn't stop there. Like the other night, AlgoBots, Bank on Algorand, one of the original dudes in the Algorand ecosystem in general, who partnered up with me on the COOPs, who made all of that cool art. He just kind of throws out there, I put out a call to arms. Anybody want to make a thumbnail for my governance video? And he said, what about a thumbnail? And then the artist Algo hands behind thumbs. The next morning I wake up and I have a COOP thumbs, right? And then today he mints that thumb and says, hey, I threw some hands together for you as well, so you had the matching piece. So look at these things, man. Follow Algo hands, pick up some hands, get a thumb. I mean, for real. And while you're at it, get an Algo bot. And then, I've teamed up with Algowana and the Shuffle Show. Like, the support from the Algorand NFT community has been tremendous. And it's just, it does fill me, certain times bear markets, maybe I say something, I think I'm speaking some truth that upsets people. It weighs on you because you're not trying to be negative. You're just trying to be honest, and it can start to get a little freaking depressing. And then it's like, now there's this thumb that is amazing, or this pair of hands that are amazing, or I have this awesome new intro, or just all the relationships. So when they say it goes to zero, but you made some friends along the way, I'm starting to believe it, man. And I feel it and I love it. And I'm so grateful to be part of this community, and I'm keeping on, folks. So let's get into it. And then the huge news of the day, the news that made me so happy is that Sam Bankman-Fried over there at FTX has decided that they will support USDC on the Algorand blockchain. Huge news, folks. That makes things so much easier on ramps, off ramps. This can invite a lot of liquidity. Also, little known fact is that Algo is not an ASA. USDCa is an ASA. It took exchanges more work to do to integrate ASAs. Now FTX is fully ready to go. They can now integrate other ASAs if they so choose. So shout out to Stacy at the foundation, or whoever had anything to do with this. It's such a good moment. I know that the Algorand people have been fighting for this. I've been to these conferences. I know that they've been struggling to make this happen, and it's happened at FTX. I'm going to be signing up for an FTX account. I did not have one. I feel like Coinbase has totally dropped the ball, and yeah, missed opportunity, bro. I'm obviously sure that Anthony Scaramucci had something to do with it. It's crazy, right? FTX didn't even list Algo until recently. And I know Anthony Scaramucci had something to do with that. And now they're the first to list USDCa. And they're going to earn a lot of extra customers. I know people think that the Algorand community is small. It's not. It's not. We are growing, and it is clear, and I'm excited about it. All right, folks. What else? Okay, so look, I'm not going to sit here and dive into some negative rant about Algofi, okay? Algofi has built one of the premier money markets and exchanges on Algorand. I know that their exchange struggles a little bit. And how do I know that? Because every time I'm looking for the best swap, it's usually not on Algofi, all right? You guys know that, right? Right. And then they also are trying to do new things with stable. And so they have their own, they have their own stable coin, which causes some friction. I know that there is governance. There is Algofi governance coming. The bank token is coming. And one of the votes is to incorporate an Algo USDC, Algo USDC pool. So that I think will be big for Algofi and their growth. So I will definitely be voting for that. As I participate in their governance, because I've been using Algofi for a long time and enjoying it. I am through the moon excited about their integration of Ledger. Governance on Algofi is premier. It's very easy to use. They've been around. There's never been any exploits. There was some, problems with stable to USDC peg, right? But they fixed it. They've innovated. They've done some really cool stuff. I met Owen and John in Denver in person. I interviewed Owen, had a great interview with Owen, and then I interviewed John. Not my best interview, I admit it. If you've been following my channel closely, I would say that my interview with John was on the lower end of quality, but that's no fault of his. He actually probably saved that interview. It was mainly to do with me, right? But that's okay. I don't need to be over here admitting faults that you guys aren't even aware of. But the point is that I'm rooting for them, right? I'm rooting for these guys. If it was just me looking at this situation thinking, oh, Owen and John, the guys that I've met, super smart, like brilliant dudes. They came from the hedge fund world. I mean, quant, whatever. Like, it's crazy. Like their experience at Citadel and all of these things. They bring a depth of knowledge and experience to the Web3, and they're trying to change the way things are. So super big fan. If it was just them, I'd be like, do whatever you need to do, right? I mean, I love it. Succeed, folks. Succeed, bro. You know what I mean? Like that would be great. But there's just this small fact, which makes me need to speak the truth that I think, which always can be wrong, and I'm always happy to be corrected, and I'm always happy to have anybody on, especially people that disagree with me. I'd love to have those conversations. I am not a guy that needs to be right, but there's this small little issue. I am heavily invested in the Algorand community, and frankly, I have a nice size investment in Algo in general, right? I mean, my channel is almost exclusively dedicated to Algorand. I'm going to try to open that up a little bit to grow my channel and bring new eyes onto Algorand, frankly, and other things. You know what I mean? I like to entertain, I like to inform, and I like to learn. So I'm going to expand. But my channel is basically dedicated to Algorand. And I know most of my audience is at least invested, most likely heavily invested in Algorand for whatever their financial situation is, whatever their percentage is. I know a lot of you have a lot of algo, and you are invested in the future of algo and believe in the future of algo. So there are things to be concerned about here, and that's just what I'm saying. And that's what I'm going to talk about right now. Okay, so we find out this week that Algofi is working on hiring for their new layer 1 blockchain that they are building called Axion. Okay? And some of the things that they say in their in their job description and what they're looking for is that they're building the blockchain infrastructure that will power the new internet, on which all of Web3 will be built. It'll be the first order book DEX capable of high throughput, and Axion will enable developers to seamlessly deploy the highest TPS blockchains available to date. Okay, so that is a very lofty goal. They've admitted as such. They have said that they're in the very early stages of planning this. I mean, to me, that sounds like they're building something like Cosmos, really, and using a lot of the Algorand technology, which is open source and theirs to take and use. Okay, so cool, right? I mean, I see on Twitter, it's like, people's defense of this is like, well, it's a multi-chain world, man. It's going to be the future is multi-chain. Well, of course it is. I mean, look, I think there's a slight chance that Algorand could be the chain of chains. I mean, the technical team at Algorand is world class. We all know that. Chris Pikert, Sylvia McCauley, and all of them. All of those guys at the team. I'm sorry if I don't know your name. I would love to learn it. But my point is, and I'd love to have you on, frankly. But the point is that there's a world-class team. The chain of chains, I guess it could happen. But more likely, it's going to be a multi-chain future. We all know that. I know that. Of course. So why would I have a problem with Algofi building this? I don't have a problem with Algofi building this and following their passion, trying to stretch themselves, knowing how smart they are, all of that. I get it, and it's all good. It's all good, except for one thing. Me and my audience are heavily invested in the future of Algorand. To me, this sounds like a competitor, somebody that's going to use a lot of the Algorand technology and try to push it forward. Well, if they can do that, awesome. Seems like a daunting task to go up against the Algorand team. I'm not going to lie about that. But at the same time, is that their mission? I don't know. If there is one criticism that I take to heart when I hear, especially Ethereum guys bring this up, is that the whole game of layer ones is that they have a foundation that incentivizes people to come build in their DeFi, to build protocols, gives them a ton of tokens or money to build. And then once that money evaporates, they disappear and go do something else. That is a valid criticism of a lot of these layer ones. Now, fortunately for us at Algorand, is that, okay, yes, Algorand has done it, but we have seen continuous growth, and we're seeing not just DeFi growth, which we're seeing for sure, but we're seeing real world partnerships in Nigeria, Bank of Italy, FIFA, El Salvador, on and on and on, Bermuda. There's a bunch of cool projects, real life projects, have really nothing to do with DeFi that are bringing more and more eyes. That's why you see somebody like Sam Bankman-Fried and Scaramucci opening the doors a little bit to USDC. And, frankly, Solana's been having a lot of problems. It's bullish, man. It's bullish that Sam is bringing that along, helping Algorand along a little bit. I find that bullish. That guy's so rich, he could pivot in a second and it wouldn't matter. I'm not saying that he is, but I'm just saying. So my point is that is a valid criticism of layer ones. Now, I'm not saying that Algofi is doing that and all of that. Now they have the bank token and this is their exit liquidity. I mean, that would be, you know, the FUD, right? That would be what you would accuse me of FUD for saying if I were being like, oh, okay, now they're going to get, now they got the token. And so what, are they expecting the Algorand community to bootstrap their new competitive blockchain to Algorand? So while they're building that, they kind of, you know, get all the money from the community and then ditch out and say, sorry, folks, we got to move forward. I don't know. I know a lot of you are going to be out there, this fucking ungrateful dude, this ungrateful guy. Like, Algofi has built a premier product. You should be grateful and licking their boots for what they've done for the Algorand community. Okay, man. Sure. But I'm just saying, I believe that they have more questions to answer. That's it. If none of that is true, if they are committed to Algofi. I mean, and I understand, you know, people will be like, well, look, dude, like it's a decentralized platform. Well, okay, so then they're going to have governance. We're going to have bank token. They're going to be able to do all the things. You're going to be able to vote. Like, but who, once they leave, if they left, who's doing this? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not saying don't use Algofi. I'm probably going to still use Algofi. I like the ledger support. Okay. I'm going to use where I get the best deal. And Algofi is obviously a great option at this point. So they are invited to a very cordial conversation on this channel anytime to address any of my concerns. And I am not a spiteful person. I am not angry about this. I will continue to say what I think is true. So stop getting mad at me for that. Who cares? You don't own the bank token yet. So I'm not, you know, I'm not like hurting your bags. All I'm saying is that what's their intention? Is this out of frustration? Can what they want to build, is what they want to build not possible on Algorand? Is what they're building, how does that compare to C3 protocol? Because C3 is doing something a little similar. There you go, folks. Those are my unfiltered thoughts on that. And yeah, that's it. All right. So anyways, hey, folks, Algorand NFTs, they have them. Algorand has NFTs. So go get them. There's Goannas out there, Algobots, Flemish Giants, Hands. Come on. There's weird sea monsters with fishy lips. There is giraffes, and I don't know. They're just everywhere. Some cool art, you know, a gecko fan. Speaking of the awesome vibes from the Algorand NFT community, Zeus gifted me a wise uncle. Now I get to participate in this new MIA launch going at the end of this month. I mean, look, Algorand definitely has NFTs. We definitely have DeFi. Governance has been extended. Governance pays a wonderful yield, is boosted. DeFi boosts. So folks, as things are bad in the world, what macro looks terrible and everything seems to be kind of a problem, make sure you're chasing yield. They say if you don't know where the yield is coming from, it's you is where it's coming from. Well, if that's true, you better be getting the damn yield. Do you understand? If it's coming from you, you better go grab it, because then it's just depleting you. And you're just going to constantly be inflated to nothing. Not nothing. Because we all know Algo is going to the moon. Just kidding. Not financial advice, everybody. All right. So, hey, thank you so much for watching. Thanks again, Block, for that incredible intro. Thank you to everybody that supports this show. I'm excited. I am pumped up. There's a lot of exciting things coming. I have some interviews that I think you're going to be excited about. All right, everybody. Hey, thank you for watching. And if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at COOP_Daniels. And yeah, do your homework.